ṣe là ó dá mi lójú. Ẹ̀yin ni ẹ wò, kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀la. Tó mọ̀la ẹ̀dá tó mọ̀la ò sí o. Ẹ̀yin ni ẹ wò, kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀la. 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 Odile ẹni pàtàkì Chief Alhaji mi Moshood mi o Kashi mi o ọmọ Abíọ́lá ọmọ Chief Balógun ọjọ́ Chief Salawu mi o Adélẹ́kan mi o Chief Balógun ọjọ́ bàbá bada para o. Bí má rí Balógun lẹ́yìn mi, inú mi á dùn, ara mi á yá gágágágá. Bí má rí Balógun lẹ́yìn mi, inú mi á dùn, ara mi á yá gágágágá. Odedele ló wà tàbí yàrá lókè wá tó bá ti gbóhùn mi o má sùn má wo dákun ṣáà máa bọ̀. Ajẹ́túmọ̀ bí olókùn dúdú. Ṣí bàdà bàrà ó. Ọkọ̀ alájà síbi àtúnmí o àti inú bẹ́ẹ̀. Alájà síbi àtúnmí. Ọkọ̀ Kúdírà túnmí o Ọláyínká. Ọkọ̀ Adébísí. Àwọn olúgun mi òkè, àwọn Rasheed Williams mi lẹ́rọ ọmọ lọ́nà. Ẹ má nọmọ Balógun, bí ẹ bá nọmọ Balógun, ìdákìrì ẹ̀wọ̀lú, ẹsẹ̀ kiri ẹ̀wọ̀dé. Ẹ má nọmọ Balógun, bí ẹ bá nọmọ Balógun, ìdákìrì ẹ̀wọ̀lú, ẹsẹ̀ kiri ẹ̀wọ̀dé. Èdùmàrè sọ̀rọ̀ mi dayọ̀ mo dúpẹ́. Èdùmàrè sọ̀rọ̀ mi dayọ̀ mo wá ṣọpẹ́. Orí burúkú kì í ṣe tèmi o, mo dúpẹ́. Ìbànújẹ́ kò sí lọ́rọ̀ mi o, mo wá ṣọpẹ́. Orí burúkú kì í ṣe tèmi o, ẹ̀bẹ̀ mo bẹ̀. Àyànmọ́ mi kò sẹ́dá tó lè padà, ẹlẹ́dá mi yé mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ o. Àyànmọ́ mi ládọ́wọ́ Olúwa ni, ẹ̀dá ayé kọ́kọ́ lè ṣí mi nípò padà. Ẹlẹ́dá mi yé mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ yé, ẹlẹ́dá mi gbé mi lékè ayé. Àyànmọ́ mi látọwọ́ Olúwa ni, ẹ̀dá ayé kọ́kọ́ lè ṣí mi nípò padà. Ẹlẹ́dá mi gbé mi lékè ayé. Àyànmọ́ mi látọwọ́ Olúwa ni, ẹ̀dá ayé kọ́kọ́ lè ṣí mi nípò padà. Ẹlẹ́dá mi yé mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ yé, ẹlẹ́dá mi gbé mi lékè ayé. Bàbá Rótìmí, bàbá Bùkọ́lá mi o, bàbá Ọlánrewájú, Odilérò lóye, lẹ́yìn ọmọ lọ́lá, Samson Ògúnládé o, bàbá Èjìrẹ́ ọkọ Bọ́lá. Vasco da Gama, Baba Taju. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ àdìo ọmọ lọ́lá, Baba Yẹmísí. Ayọ̀délé director, àwọn lọ́rí lọ́rẹ̀ sí mi bàbá ṣẹ́gun. Ó di ilé rolo e, ọ̀kẹ́ àmìnú bàbá dúpẹ́. Mùtíù kékeré jí mọ́, bàbá Nurudini ọkọ̀ Fáúsá. Débẹ́lá Dédèjì ọkọ̀ Làbákẹ́. Arigidi o bàbá ń joyin ìwà ọlọ́lá. Mátíù mi o bàbá lẹ́gbà. Àwọn àkọ́bí rolo ilẹ̀ ọmọ ọlọ́lá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ọmọ dáadáa. Monday John ọlọ́lá bàbá Fẹ́mi.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be starting shortly, so may I crave the indulgence of all present to please take their seats. You are all wonderfully welcome to this gathering. Please sit down, relax as we set sail. I'll be anchoring this program along with my boss here, Dr. Michael and Dr. Kenny. You are all welcome. May please take your seat as we start in earnest.
Good evening, sirs and ma'ams. We will start with the opening prayer, and this will be taken by the Dean, Faculty of Science, Professor Ogundiro. You're welcome, sir.
Shall we pray? May I crave our indulgence to please rise up on our feet so that we can pray together. Almighty God, we thank you because this is the day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for preservation. And we thank you for the favor that we have received from you to be alive today, to witness this day, and to be at this gathering at this time. Blessed be your name, in Jesus' name. What a privilege, O Lord, for we younger ones to felicitate together with our older ones, our fathers in this journey of medicine, our teachers and great-grand teachers. Father, we appreciate this opportunity that we have. We thank you for everyone that is here today. We thank you for joining mercies to this place. And we thank you for all the goodness of yours that we have all enjoyed hitherto. Blessed be your name, in Jesus' name. We commit this gathering to your hands, that you have your way in our midst. Let your spirit take control, and let all we do honor and glorify your name. And at the end of it all, Lord, let your blessings be ours. Blessed be your name because of answered our prayers. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Thank you, sirs and ma'ams.
Thank you very much.
The college anthem, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's going to take us some time to get to be free when you're anchoring a program where your teachers and teachers are the celebrants. But we'll survive somehow. We'll survive somehow. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do a brief call up to the high table now. And we, as much as possible, have been instructed to make it as social as possible. So please pardon us if we do not strictly follow the protocols that you are used to. It's a celebration of a class that we are doing, and you are free to take your seat anywhere. And so when we do the introductions, feel free to take any of the seats on the high table. And we'll be doing the introduction in no particular order. So please pardon us if you think you have not followed your protocol. So I'll hand over to Dr. Michael, who will be calling those of us that will be sitting on the high table to step up. Thank you.
Thank you. Distinguished elders, it is my utmost pleasure to now invite some persons to the high table. I will start with the Provost, College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, here represented by the Dean of the Faculty of Sciences, Professor T.O. Oguniran. You're welcome, sir.
Round of applause for him.
Next, we have our distinguished emeritus professor, Professor Oluwole Akonde. Please make him welcome to the high table. The Deputy Registrar and Secretary to the College, Mr. Odedele. You're welcome, sir. Our able financial controller of the College of Medicine, Mrs. Olayinka Adesonya. You're welcome, ma'am. It is now time for me to invite the celebrants of today. I'll start with Professor Yetunde Akenova. You're welcome to the high table, ma'am. Dr. Tony Marinho. You're welcome, sir.
A round of applause for him as he steps up to the high table. You are the celebrant, sir.
Dr. Omolara Smith. You're welcome, ma'am.
A round of applause for her.
Professor O.O. Ajayi. You're welcome, sir.
A round of applause for him as
You're
he steps
welcome,
up.
sir. We need you at the high table, sir. Yes, it is my pleasure again to call Professor Ladipo to the high table. You're welcome, sir. I also have the pleasure of inviting the spouse of one of our celebrants, Professor Mrs. Adeoluwa. You're welcome, ma. We would like to have you on the high table, ma. Let me bring.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, we've succeeded in bringing some people to the hotter part of the room, and we made enough room for those of us on the other side to enjoy the AC. So we would not want to bore us with too many introductions, but we'll just quickly give honor to whom honor is due and recognize as many as possible per time. Like I said, in no particular order, so definitely we'll get to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me the Chief Medical Director, University College Hospital, ably represented by the CMAC, Dr. Odunaiya. A round of applause for him. You are welcome, sir. And I know the Director of Administration also has a representative standing in for him. A round of applause for him. Director of Finance is also, well, the Head of Human Resources, Mrs. Tomi Olaleye. You are welcome. A round of applause. Deputy CMAC Clinical Services, Dr. Taiwo Shoyinka. A round of applause for her. You are welcome, ma. And of course, Deputy CMAC Research and Ethics, Dr. Baro Michael. You are welcome, sir. Of course, many in the contingent from ophthalmology, they are very visible. Even if your eyes were to be examined, you will see them right from afar. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for all the members of the Department of Ophthalmology, retired and serving. You are welcome. All deans of faculties here present, a round of applause for them. And permit me to single out a father and a friend, Professor Shokumbi, a neurosurgeon par excellence, and is accompanied by his wife, who is sitting directly opposite him somehow, making sure that his sides are free. You are welcome, ma. So we'll take a break with the introductions now, and we'll return back to them. Permit me to hand over to Dr. Michael as she calls on the person that will fulfill the next assignment.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Adebayo. We'll be going straight ahead to the welcome address. It's going to be given by representative of the Provost, the Dean of the Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor T.O. Ogundinron.
I will start by saying our emeritus Professor Oluwole Akonde, the Jaguaso, Professor O. Ajayi, Professor Ladipo, the distinguished members of class of 1973, other distinguished members in the high table, the members of the college executive committee, my teachers, grand teachers, and great-grand teachers, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you would agree with me that this is a very wondrous task for me to perform this evening, standing in the presence of great teachers, grand teachers, representing the provost. I'm sure we're all aware that I'm not the provost of the College of Medicine. So I'm a very shy person, as it's obvious, but I try to be as compliant as much as possible this evening. So it's a great opportunity and privilege this evening for me to be in the midst of these great giants in the medical profession. And we are here to celebrate the set of 1973 that left this medical school 50 years ago. It's not impossible that some people may be here who were not born at that time, by the time they left the medical school. And of course, we also have older people who left earlier. So that's why I said this is a gathering of teachers, great teachers, and great teachers. And it's a privilege for we younger ones that we are here celebrating with them 50 years of God's goodness in their lives. This is a once-in-life experience that I'm happy, and I give God the glory that I'm opportune to be part of this evening. I'm not the provost. I'm just standing for the provost, who is unavoidably absent because she has to attend to important meetings outside of this country, the ACIPMN meeting that is going on now in North America, and also AMPAS, Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas. And she's attending these two meetings on behalf of the college. One of the reasons being that she's looking for money for the College of Medicine, especially for the building of the medical students hostel, which is one of the requirements by the NMTC for our reaccreditation. So I'm sure she would have wished to be here, but she has to be there too. And so on behalf of the Provost of the College of Medicine, Professor Olayinka Omigbodun, the first female Provost of the College of Medicine, I'm here to say welcome to this occasion. Congratulations to our teachers who are clocking 50 years of graduating from the medical school. And we are looking forward. In fact, this gives us hope and expectation that those of us who are coming behind. I graduated about 35 years or so ago. And so we are looking for that God that has helped you and spared your life to witness this day will also help some of us who are coming behind to also witness that 50-year landmark when the time comes. So it's a day of celebration, it's a day of joy, and I'm sure we're all happy that we're here, both the senior ones and the junior ones. Like I said, the provost would have wished to be here. She's not here. I believe that she's going to witness or watch this video, the video of this activity later. Unlike her, she's presently in transit. Otherwise, she would have wished to speak to us virtually. But because I understand she's in transit, so she cannot speak to us at this time. But I will pass everything to her when the meeting is over. So on behalf of the provost, I say welcome and thank you for this great opportunity to be here this evening to celebrate with you. My prayer is that you have clocked 50 years after leaving the medical school. You will live longer, you will live healthier, and the Lord will grant you peace all the days of your life. In Jesus' name. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much, sir. Sorry, I will just take this to also do this introduction. And I will say this, I have been struggling with this within myself and on very many platforms, especially for colleagues. Out of humility, when we want to recognize, we say elders, senior colleagues, and colleagues. So we think we are humble and that we are the lowest on the ladder. But to me, it seems as though we are erasing the people that are behind us. So I hope that from henceforth, when you have to recognize people, you remember your junior colleagues. So permit me to recognize in our midst the representative of the medical students of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. A round of applause for them. You're welcome.
We will be having the presentation of the list of members of the class of 73 platform, and this will be by Professor Yetunde Akenova. But before she does that, so that we are all clear that 4 of these elders are here present, so we'll call them and we'll crave their indulgence to please rise for their recognition before Professor Akenova presents the list of members. So the 4 of them present here are Professor Yetunde Akenova.
Please
You're welcome.
Please rise and remain standing.
Dr. Tony Marinho. Dr. BGK Ajayi. He doesn't want to sit on the high table. That's why he's there. Dr. Omolara Smith.
A big round of applause for the celebrants.
Another warm round of applause.
And the wife of the...
Mrs. Adeoluwa, wife of one of them. You're welcome, ma'am. Dr. Taiwo, sir. Okay, I will now, you may all please be seated. Thank you, my answers.
Can see they are all still young men and ladies. I can bet one or two of them will belong to Young Men Christian Society in their churches. So Professor Akinova will read out a list of members of that class to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the moment, I don't have the list with me, but I guess BGK might have it. Unfortunately, some of us are short-sighted, and I can't see far. Maybe BGK would help me out. Sorry? Yes, please.
Okay. All right, so I have the permission of Dr. BGK Ajayi and Professor Yetunde Akenova to read out this list. And I'm informed that these are the people that they have been able to access. Okay. Dr. Funsho Onafowokan. Please give them a round of applause. Dr. BGK Ajayi. Dr. Clara Dalmore. Dr. Dosu Ojengbede. I'm sorry if I don't
Dosu
have
Ojengbede.
Ojengbede. Okay. Dr. Adebayo, I'm going to need you here, please. Dr. Adam Lance Lawson. Dr. Adejoro Fasomade. Dr. Boye Makinde.
Boye Makinde.
8.
Dr. Bisi Adenle. Dr. Itel Onofowokan. Dr. Matthew Folorunsho Omojola. Dr. Omololu Ayodeji. Dr. Bita Biniti, yes. Dr. Shola Franklin. Dr. Veronica Aluko. Dr. Yewande Savage. Dr. Yomi Orafidia. Dr. Ogbola Adetunji. Dr. Molara Smith ní Onojin. Dr. Olajide Mike Adenuga. Dr. Olumide Okikiolu. Dr. Shade Boyejo Enaoro. Dr. Rex Ajayi. Dr. Adeyemi Doro.
Dr. Feyi Fashoranti. Dr. Kofo Odushote. Dr. Femi Adelowo. Professor Kunle Adekile. Professor Remi Ogunsheede. Professor Yetunde Akenova. Professor Eugene Okpere. Senator Olu Alabi. Dr. Tony Marinho. Venerable Dr. Wole Ogunsheide. Dr. Wale Akinshola. Dr. Shola Oni Le. Dr. Cletus Tunji Taiwo. And that's the end of this list. Please
A round of applause for the members of that class. Okay. We are told that there are a few people joining us online. We want to appreciate them for joining us. And permit me then, as we put our hands together, to welcome Dr. Tony Marino as he gives us the anniversary poem. A round of applause for him. He always has a poem for every occasion. We are ready, sir. Okay.
As usual, I'm given 24 hours to write a poem for our anniversary of 50 years. So you don't expect very much. Please, don't. BGK said 5 minutes. Poems are written, paraded days and nights in which Grillo cadavers awoke, scaring Amure Electric's frogs, while Basia nitrates turned Fernandez slides a deadly shade of blue. All those are our lecturers and teachers. Some for those who don't know. Well-worn lab coats, weather-beaten clothes, dance-drained shoes, dictated to by Fela, Otis Redding, Aretha, James, and the Jacksons, tapped musical notes, roaring through the academic serenity of Amina Way trees. Singing, oh, what amazing forever songs, long before Amazon. Brains drained of waste, worn down steps, filled with lecture-led dead wood, Samson right, and Gray's Anatomy wrong stuff. Epileptically regurgitated verbatim to and from residential halls with Trenchard Hall reserved for driving, gisting, smooching, and exam execution. Brain fag overcame with cunning midnight Viva groups, kept awake with Lance Spearman's cheroots, coffee, peppermint, and a hot stuff swig, ending in glorious defeat of the 2nd MB Brigade. Strike struck and left Kunle Adekpeju dead. Bullet bled on a Queen's Hall pavement slab. But the world went on its way to the next exam. Time has only one Oga, itself. 50 years. From campus to clinic, casualty and theater, conception, delivery, pediatrics, medicine, surgery to post-mortem. The medical cycle of life, leaving barely time to find husband or wife. But some succeeded, all leaving a deadly trail of tests, transfusions, and blood on the casualty labor surgery floor in the wake of godlike professors. gliding professorially on white tailcoats from ward round, patient to patient. How did they know so much? Throwing a million intimidating questions to elicit nervous reflex robotic student answers prompted by the brainy patient who sometimes prompts the student living till it is put out of reach and beyond things to teach. 50 is a number. Graduation and lessons of house job and scattered and sown nationwide as the new foundation seeds for batch 1 and batch 2 of NYSC. NYSC is 50 years next year. This set was the first batch. Adventure, adversity and death, national guinea pigs for unity. 50 years. Looking back, everything in front has a behind. Lives saved, some engraved, lives lost at what cost? 50 years. We are not taught everything. Sorry, I skipped something. The class of 73 is spread worldwide. We have tried, cried, and even lied to save a life in the name of the Hippocratic Oath. We learned how easy it was to die. Some of us have even died. We who are alive testify on their behalf as we bear the staff, flying flag of our collective survival. 50 years. We were not taught everything. We did not learn everything, but we are 50 years wiser. That must count for something. Our teachers, favorite or loathed, taught us well, keeping us out of failure hell. Is my favorite teacher yours? Is your favorite teacher mine? Salute, salute, salute to all teachers. 50 bozas for them. Don't start now, start later. We learned book and how to look. We learned to dance, sing and act, to separate fiction from fact, to love, to break and have a broken. The time, 50 years, is not our making. God's time is best. The 50 years work in and outside medicine is our undoing or our doing. Our passion, our talent, our hobby, our calling, good or bad. We must congratulate each other on the journey so far, even as we remember those who have gone before, both teacher and fellow traveler. May they rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very beautiful poem. Well, I was going to recognize those online, which I didn't have their name at that time. Recognize or appreciate with me, Dr. Olusola Oni is online with us. Dr. Olufemi Adelowo is online. And Dr. Wole Ogunseyinde is online. A round of applause for him. And I must say that they are making comments. Maybe I should read one or two. One said, Wole, I can't see your face. And the other said, Tony, the good-looking guy. So I'll leave you to find out which of them is doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand over to Dr. Michael here to take it on from there.
Yes, thank you. It's time for a quiz. I mean, I have the audacity to be asking my fathers, my grandfathers, great-grandfathers a quiz. But please, sirs and mas, we would like you to answer. We want to know who will get the right answer. We want you to guess who our mystery guest is. If you've seen the program, we have a mystery guest we need to unveil today. So let's see who will guess who our mystery guest is. One guess. Professor Jaisa, would you like to take a guess?
Maybe hints, if it would help. And I don't want to say gender now. You know, we're in a terrible world now. There are like 200 identifications now. So it's not by again now, he or she. There is they, there is it. So I don't know I don't know what hint to give on gender. But I can tell you the person is coming in a vehicle that will drop the person downstairs. So think of somebody that drives a car or that is being driven in a car.
We have one guess.
Okay.
The governor of Oyo State. Is that likely to be the person? We'll see.
Not
Professor
impossible.
Akenovama. Who do you think our mystery guest is?
I have no clue.
None at all? Mystery guest. It's a guess. Maybe the representative of the provost has an idea.
I think
Our fathers should be
emeritus
good at
professor
guessing.
he has an idea.
Okay. Emeritus Professor Akondesa. Please, sir, do you have an idea who our mystery guest is?
I think it's Professor Olajide Ajayi.
He thinks it's Professor Olajide Ajayi, but he's seated with us.
He's
sir.
physically present.
So he may be right. Let's give him a round of applause for that guess.
Dr. Ladipo too has a guess. He has a guess.
Sir?
Before I respond, I need clarification. Is it a male, female, or transgender?
That's what I'm saying. That's a very dangerous question to ask in public now.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think the mystery guest is Professor Ajayi.
2 guesses for Professor Ajayi. I'm going to the floor. Maybe. Does anybody on the high table want to take a guess? Okay.
Professor
Let's
Shokumbi
ask
probably knows.
Professor Shokumbi. I mean, he's a neurosurgeon. He probably has even gone into my brain and decided and known who the mystery is.
When you threw the question, my brain went into my feet. No hint? I think I will pass.
Int. Above 50. Above 50.
Above 50 years.
That's no
Old.
Let me think about it.
Well, if I may have to hazard a guess, I'll go for Professor Ajayi. And since the majority is saying Ajayi, then we have to swap whoever was the mystery guest now to become Professor O.O. Ajayi.
Okay, so I'm going to give a hint.
That's the Nigerian way, sir.
I'm going to give a hint. Our mystery guest is not with us here.
Our mystery guest is also a medical doctor. So there's a guess now.
Okay. Let's see.
I just want to guess Dr. Rex Ajayi.
Good guess. Good guess.
Thank you, ma. She says Dr. Rex Ajayi. How many more guesses, ma, should we get? 2 more? Another hint? A closer hint? My prof, elder, senior colleague, yes, ma'am.
Distinguished seniors, particularly Mrs. Akanova. It's nice seeing you, ma. I need a microscope. I'm sure Prof will understand. I'm not asking for electron microscope. Just the basic binocular. Professor Oyin Olurin.
Oh my goodness. She has thrown it the other way to gender. Everybody was picked a male. Thank you, ma, for that guess. So, because we have already given that hint that the guest is not here, we will allow yet another guess. Okay. So, Simaxa, would you like to guess who our mystery guest is?
Our teachers and fathers here, they say we should not guess to avoid negative marking, so I want to avoid it.
Okay, so it's time to unveil our distinguished senior colleague. And that unveiling, may I please ask everyone to rise to receive our mystery guest. Professor Oluri. Congratulations, man.
A big round of applause.
Fantastic guest. You're welcome, ma.
To be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count.
I will now hand over the microphone to Dr. Molara Smith to speak about our mystery guest. Thank you, ma'am.
You may please be seated.
Our teachers, the teacher of teachers, because a lot of my classmates were also teachers, taught by a number of professors sitting on the high table. I don't need to repeat all their names because you already know those teachers of teachers. I'd like to introduce somebody I respect so much. Somebody who broke the ice in our time when we had all male professors. And there amongst them is this mother, teacher, highly esteemed professor. Amongst us ladies and amongst the men, she was respected as a brilliant professor. Somebody who dared to go into a specialty where a number of men were running away from. Somebody who produced another ophthalmologist who, in the United States of America, where many were afraid to even apply for ophthalmology, her child, I hope I'm right, son, ma, and daughter veered into that department. They can only do that because they were coming from a background of a bold, brilliant, exceptional lecturer and professor. Some of us at that time, we look at her up there. Because at that time, I must say, even to have HOD, head of department, it was almost all men's affair. And when she rose up, among one or two others who were females, we were highly encouraged that yes, and up till today, we refer to her as a revered mother of mothers amongst us women. We truly respect you, ma, Professor Mrs. Oluri. She's riding high there amongst who is who. Amongst ophthalmologists worldwide. You are welcome, ma. God bless you, ma. Not only that, I happen to be a coordinator of a number of women, the Medical Women Association of Nigeria. And anywhere you mention Professor Mrs. Oluri, they all stand up. Like I said, these are people who are, or women, doctors, who are 60 years and above. And I must say, sitting here, somebody released a secret to us just last week. At Mama Oluni, we soon clock. Ma, am I allowed to say it? We soon clock 90 years of age. So, with your permission, I would like us to give her a round of applause. I would like you to please stand up. Here, if you are...
For our mystery guests, there's nothing like the joy of seeing your teacher and your teacher's teachers growing old, even as you are there.
We still need to see that microscope in Professor Shokumbi's office for that guess. That was smack on. Well done, ma.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we think we should be munching something as we continue the program. However, I've been informed that it's buffet style, so you need to step to the serving area, and we should go. Okay.
Exercise.
Yeah. So we'll start with the high table. DJ, give us some soft music, and let the high table proceed to pick something to eat. No, we'll just start from Dr. Mario. Soft music, please. So the mystery guest will lead the delegates to the kitchen. Ladies first. So we go with the youngest lady first. I think we should, yes, we should open the serving. That side, that side. There's no road there.
Sọ̀rọ̀ mi dayọ̀, mo dúpẹ́. Èdùmàrè sọ̀rọ̀ mi dayọ̀, mo wá ṣọpẹ́. Orí burúkú kì í ṣe tèmi o, mo dúpẹ́. ìbànújẹ́ kò sí lọ́rọ̀ mi o, mo wá ṣọpẹ́. Orí burúkú kì í ṣe tèmi o, ẹ̀bẹ̀ mo bẹ̀. Àyànmọ́ mi kò sẹ́dá tó lè padà, ẹlẹ́dá mi yé mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ o. Àyànmọ́ mi ládọ́wọ́ Olúwa ni, ẹ̀dá ayé kọ́kọ́ lè ṣí mi nípò padà. Ẹlẹ́dá mi yé mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ yé, ẹlẹ́dá mi gbé mi lékè ayé.
So please, the menu is on your table. We have swallows, we have rice and all of that. So feel free to request. Check the menu before you leave your seat so that you can ask for what you want. Thank you.
Àyànmọ́ mi látọwọ́ Olúwa ni, ẹ̀dá ayé kọ́kọ́ lè ṣí mi nípò padà. Ẹlẹ́dá mi gbé mi lékè ayé. Àyànmọ́ mi látọwọ́ Olúwa ni, ẹ̀dá ayé kọ́kọ́ lè ṣí mi nípò padà. Ẹlẹ́dá mi yé mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ yé, ẹlẹ́dá mi gbé mi lékè ayé. Baba Rotimi, Baba Bukola mi o, Baba Ọlánrewájú, Odile Roloye, Ilẹ̀yẹ Ọmọlọ́lá, Samson Ogunlade o, Baba Ejire ọkọ Bọ́lá. Vasco da Gama, Baba Taju, Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Adio Ọmọlọ́lá, Baba Yẹmisí, Ayọ̀délé Director, àwọn Lọ́ní Lawrence mi, Baba Ṣẹ́gun, Odile Roloye, Ọ̀kẹ́ Aminu, Baba Dúpẹ́. Kékeré Jímọ̀, Baba Nurudini, ọkọ Fausa. Débẹ́lá Dédèjì, ọkọ Làbákẹ́. Arigidi o, Baba Ntoyin, Ìwà Ọlọ́lá. Mátíù mi o, Baba Lẹ́gbà. Àkọ́bí Roloye, ilẹ̀ ọmọ ọlọ́lá. Òbẹ́ Induction, ọlọ́lá bàbá Fẹ́mi. Alájálá mi ọmọ ọlọ́lá, alájálá mi ọmọ alájàṣadé. Alájálá mi ọmọ ọlọ́lá, alájálá mi ọkọ alájàṣadé. Alájálá mi ọmọ ọlọ́lá, alájálá mi ọkọ alájàṣadé. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ká má kúrò, ká mú tẹ̀gàn kúrò, Ṣadé dára lóbìnrin. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ká má kúrò, ká mú tẹ̀gàn kúrò, Ṣadé dára lóbìnrin. You have travelled all over the world. Ajala travelled all over the world. Ajala travelled, Ajala travelled, Ajala travelled all over the world. Àná wa lọ mú mi rántí Adúsálámì. Adúsálámì ọkọ alájà. Àfọ̀njá ni lérò lóye mi. Ó di lérò Adúsálámì ọkọ alájà. Ó di lérò Adúsálámì ọkọ alájà. Ọba máa yọwọ́ lọ́rọ̀ ẹ ọkọ alájà. Olúwa tó ń ṣe jíjẹ, òun ló ń ṣe mímu. Arábì tó ń ṣe jíjẹ, òun ló ń ṣe mímu. Òun ló bá ẹ dáyé tó wà ó. Alájà ló ṣàkìlọ̀ kún fún alájàlá. Alájà ló sọ̀kọ̀ kún fún alájàlá. Alájà mi ò ṣáńdí bùtíkì. Alájà ló sọ̀kọ̀ kún fún alájàlá. Ẹ̀mí méje o, ẹ̀mí méje. Alájà ló sọ̀kọ̀ kún fún alájàlá. Ṣáńdí bùtì ẹ kí alájà rere. Alájà ló sọ̀kọ̀ kún fún alájàlá. Bí alájà, bí alájà, bí alájà o. Alájà ló sọ̀kọ̀ kún fún alájàlá. Alhaji Babs Alálàdé o. Ọmọ ẹni máa ṣàwọn. Alhaji Babs Alalade o. Ọmọ ní Máṣáun. Ọkọ kò fọ́rọ̀ la Àdùkẹ́. Ọkọ Ìyábọ̀dé. Má fìyà jẹ o, má bòṣì dá o. Má fìyà jẹ o, má bòṣì dá o. Ọlọ́run má fìyà jọ máa ní Máṣáun, má bòṣì dá o. Àlàdé ènìyàn ò fẹ́ ní fọ̀rọ̀. Àforí ẹni. Ènìyàn ò fẹ́ ní fọ̀rọ̀. Àforí ẹni. Tó bá lọ́gbọ́n fi síkùn ara ẹ. Ayé ò fẹ́ kó yẹ ni. Táǹfẹ́ ni. Táǹfẹ́ ni. Ènìyàn ò fẹ́ ní fọ̀rọ̀. Táǹfẹ́ ni. What? Dáńfẹ́ni, Àlàdé ò dáńfẹ́ni, èèyàn fẹ́ ní fọ̀rọ̀. Dáńfẹ́ni, àní Máṣáun, Alhaji Babs ní Alálàdé. Dáńfẹ́ni, dáńfẹ́ni, èèyàn fẹ́ ní fọ̀rọ̀. Dáńfẹ́ni, Odile Alhaji Alálàdé. Dáńfẹ́ni, dáńfẹ́ni, èèyàn fẹ́ ní fọ̀rọ̀.
Okay. We're supposed to read messages from some of the class members who coincidentally are online with us. So we would have them just give us the message directly since they are in attendance. So if you please put them on one after the other so that we can just take their messages. Okay, so if you are online and you want to give your message, please just electronically raise up your hand so that you'll be recognized. IT, please, let's have their videos on. Okay, so you have the floor, sir. IT, are we good? Yeah, you have the floor. You can speak, sir. Dr. Odedele.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone, and a special thanks to our distinguished invited guests, our teachers. We have become teachers of teachers too, but you are the grand teachers, and I recognize Professor Nyoluwin, the pioneer Professor of Pediatrics, Professor Ladipo, Professor Akonde, and our good old Professor Jide Ajayi, who gave us help as a lecturer then. I could still remember him getting angry every now and then, and wanted to box or fight us. But it was all in good faith, and we learned a lot from you. We have also been able to impart others from what we learned from you, both academically and also, and especially in terms of your dedication to your patients. These are things that we've cherished all these years. We thank God that we are alive today, and we thank God for the lives of those who have departed before us, and there are quite a few in our class. It was quite tough for us, we were the very first group to use the wooden building. I think what they call it then, the plank house that we were the first one to use at APH. We were also being transported with university buses from UI to come and attend lectures in UCH before we finally moved in. Most importantly, we were the first set to be paired in the rooms, because those who went before us actually had a room to themselves as clinical students. And we actually look forward to such, but unfortunately, we were so many, we were more than 100. Our class was quite large, more than 100. There were quite some returnees from the Civil War who joined our class, and therefore we could not have that luxury of us being in single rooms until our very final year. But then we were served. Those are the things that we still relish in the clinical school. You were served sitting down, and you have choices. Either you have peppered or pepperless. You had a 3-course meal. These are things we cherish. I understand those things are not on anymore. So we thank God, and I could identify some of my classmates who some of us have kept in touch over the years. Being medical students meant you had to swim and struggle together. So we were all the time, trying to have group discussions, and I can identify a few, the BGK Ajayi, and the others, Molara, not Jean, now Molara Smith. She and the late Adeyelu were the very brilliant ones from our second MP, and they were actually the FR as it was there. And Molara, or not Jean, or Molara Smith now, were the university scholars, but they did exceedingly well at the MBBS. Some of us were let my people go. And then we had the brilliant one like Tony Marin, who had to suffer another year because he was too brilliant. They kept him back to do a BSc. And there are quite a few of us who did that. So our class really is not just 1973, it's also 74, because those of us started together in 1968, while those of us let my people go finish 73. There were others, the brilliant ones, who stayed 1 year to do a BSc Anatomy Physiology and had to stay another year. And we have BJK, you have Tunji Taiwo, who was my roommate at one time or the other. And we have Wole, who is online now. And Bashigun, as Shola only wants to be known. So we thank God for our lives, and thank you so much, the college, for honoring us.
Thank you very much. Any other hands up? IT, let's recognize them. Any other? Bashegun, yes, let's have him. That's Dr. Oni.
My greetings to everyone. It is a bit of a surprise to me that it's 50 years ago that we graduated. I posted a photograph of my graduation picture online. And when I looked at it and I look at myself now, I was completely taken aback to how old I have become. But, you know, that's life. There's nothing I can do about it. There are a handful of things. I don't want to be nostalgic, partly because I was such a studious student in those days, had no interest in pleasures of life, my head in my book every day. But there are actually three things that struck me about my journey through UI Medical School. Of course, I was lucky. I was one of those who came in through prelim. So I came in 67. The first thing that I took away from Ibadan was the scholarship. Now, although, you know, one wasn't that very, you know, to be fair, not that very serious at UI. When I got to the UK and I decided to do surgery, and I was preparing for the Part 1 FRCS, it suddenly occurred to me how easy it was compared to what I faced, you know, when I was a student. And it was relatively easy to pass the exam because I had already learned how to pass exams. I mean, that's one of the things that I learned at UI, how to pass exams. So that even though you may not have done an awful lot of hard work during the term, but you learned how to pass exam. And so I found that the Part 1 FRCS was not particularly difficult. And when I did the Part 2, I actually passed the Part 2 FRCS almost 4 years to the date that I qualified, which even for people who graduated in the UK will have been difficult. In fact, at the time that I passed the exam, I still had 9 months of clinical work to do. So that although I passed the exam in June, I wasn't conferred with the fellowship until the October because I hadn't finished all the things to do. So that's one thing that I took from Ibadan, that surprisingly, the depth of knowledge that we had was absolutely incredible. And it set me up for life. The second thing that I took away from Ibadan was the use of a logbook. Although at the time, it was not one of my favorites because unfortunately you had to be present and this, that, and the other for you to be signed up. But what I found when I then started doing postgraduate was how useful a logbook was. And in fact, when I then became a surgeon, I was still using a logbook so that I knew how many patients I operated, what I did with them, what the outcome was. And therefore, it allowed me partly to do research, to look back into what I did and say to myself, oh, yes, I've done so many, for example, so many knee replacements, and I could write, you know, and say, this is my experience with knee replacement. It also allowed me to invent prosthesis myself because I could follow what I was doing. So I was fortunate to be able to develop my own shoulder prosthesis and my own patellofemoral prosthesis. Again, just because of what I learned from Ibadan, the use of a logbook. Finally, the thing that I benefited most from Ibadan was research. I wrote my first paper as a first-year medical student. We had a food poisoning episode at Sultan Bello Hall. And I decided to investigate it, so I contacted Professor Montefiore. And he helped me to write a paper then on food poisoning. Subsequently, I wrote a paper on cholera epidemic in Ibadan. And what that did was that it turned me into somebody who was interested in research. So that all throughout my my period in developing my career in the UK, I was always writing papers. But by my last count, I think I probably have about 80 or so publications. This deriving from the fact that at Ibadan, I mean, I was in Professor Shunkoya's lab. This was things in those days. I don't know whether they are possible anymore. And then the opportunities that we had, for example, I mean, Tony is there. He probably remembers the conference that we had at Ibora, where we brought medical students from all medical schools in Africa. We brought them to Ibora to talk about rural medicine. And I mean, that was the first sort of international conference of medical students in Africa at the time. And we were able to bring French students. We did simultaneous translations and so forth. So these were the sort of things that I learned or that came with me. And the other thing that came with me from Ibadan was travel. I was the chairman of Alexander Brown Hall at one stage. And as a result of that, I was involved in a lot of traveling the world over, meeting medical students, talking about Ibadan and what we were doing and so on and so forth. So in conclusion, I would say that Ibadan has made me what I am today. And I'm very proud of what I am today. I'm proud of what Ibadan made me to be. And I will always be grateful to Ibadan. I'm trying very hard not to mention names of my past teachers, but I think it would be remiss of me not to mention Professor Ajayi. Whilst most know him as Professor Ajayi, together with late Professor Odedele, we knew them as Egban. And I also remember Professor Hendrixie, who in fact was instrumental in my coming to Newcastle. I used to assist him doing VVF and of course falling asleep in the middle of the thing. So in effect, as I said, what I am today and the fact that even now I am still on editorial board of journals, even though I've been retired for quite a long time now, is all down to the culture, Ibadan culture. And I hope that culture is still there. I mean, the last time I came to UCH to do an operation was about 1996, I think, when I came to teach a knee replacement. And one of your professors then was my knee fellow at Leicester. I hope that this spirit, which is really what I'm driving at, that this spirit, this Ibadan spirit, I hope it is still being inculcated in those who are today's students. Finally, I would like to thank Ibadan for the opportunity that I had. Those of us who came in from prelim, we took exams to Ibadan in those days. And the prelim year was tough. But that's where we learned exam technique. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Another round of applause for him. I could see Bashegun trying so hard not to cry. Yeah. Yes. And I can tell you the medical students are also listening to you, sir. Yeah. We'll come back to the room. We'll take 2 minutes for Dr. BGK Ajayi to say his own. He wants to reminisce about the induction ceremony. You have 2 minutes, sir.
My teachers and mentors on the high table, my colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to say that there are people who are not here today who also contributed immensely to our well-being and to what we are today. What we are celebrating is not about our success, about your success, because you made it possible for us to be here. Our success will be those coming after us. If they're able to make something, then we have succeeded. So thank you very much. So I'd like to mention particularly some of those who inspired me. Professor Nkposong. There's no day he doesn't send me a message. Every day. In fact, there was a day, about 2 days I didn't get any message, and I said, there's trouble. But then what happened? His phone broke down. So I still got a message this morning. Then I must remember Dr. Itayemi. May his soul rest in peace. He was never in a hurry. After an emergency at 12 midnight, when we felt he should be tired and he should go home, he will stand in the balcony of the top floor with his pipe, smoking, and telling us all about the procedure and the possible complications. I hardly remember any of them, but I remember the dedication, the devotion, and the inspiration that came with it. And that's what teaching is about. Many of the things you will learn from the books eventually, and if you don't learn then, you will learn later. You may learn the hard way. But the dedication, devotion, diligence, we can never forget. I remember my encounter with Professor Ajayi. I always say it. Yes. I never knew him. But the first day I got to the surgical clinic, he had looked at the list and he knew that that was Ajayi. Ajayi, get out. I said, why? He said I was late. But then I was waiting at the door, and 2 or 3 other people passed by me. I didn't send them out. So I said, well, I went away. The second day, I came very early. And I was there before everybody. And when 2 or 3 people came, Ajayi, get out. So I had to go and meet him in the office. Sir, what have I done? He said, you're always smiling. He was right, because he wanted me. He thought I had a natural smile on my face, which could be misinterpreted for being unserious. So he wanted me to be serious. Thank you, sir, for making me serious. He had different ways of conveying the messages, like Dr. Odedele said. But there were messages. If you miss that message, you are lost. So you should look at the message and not the way it was delivered. So thank you very much once again, sir. Now finally, I'm at the age where sometimes you forget what you want to say. And, but the real thing I wanted to say when I got, yes, the induction, thank you. It's glad that I mentioned it to you. Now, usually exams are done, and the last day of the exam, this time it was a Friday, 22nd of June, 1973. And we were all frantic, afraid, whether we have passed or failed. There was that hall, somewhere there, small hall near the old administration building. And the examiners meeting was the following day, 10:30. There was no College of Medicine at that time. It was the Faculty of Medicine. And late Professor Kikube was the dean. But, yes, may so rest in peace. Now, at about 10:30, 11, the meeting was over. And they called us and pasted the pass list. Some of us were afraid to go near. So, but some friends say, oh, you passed, your name was there, your name was there. Then you are able to go and look again. And then about 11:30, they called us and said, induction is today. That was Saturday, 23rd. Induction, 4 p.m. And that's the significance of having this party start at 4 p.m. We had no time to call anybody, to invite friends or family. So we wore the suit. We went for Viva because you had to have a suit for Viva. And we lined up. The provost said, the dean said a few words to us, and held our books. We held the Hippocratic Oath, and we read it. And said, congratulations, you are doctors. I can't forget that. And the picture, I hope we'll be able to transmit the picture that Dr. Oni, because we had no photographers. And then taking photographs at that time was not as easy as now. So we thank you all for making it possible in every way you have done to help us. And the only thing we can pay back is to do the same thing for those coming after us. God bless you.
Thank you very much. If we allow these young men to all tell us their stories, we'll probably be here till tomorrow. One of the first things I learned was how to listen to the elderly. You can't rush them. So, to avert that, we'll stop the speeches for now. We'll move to the next item, which is the launching of the Hall of Fame. And I'll be calling on Dr. BGK Ajayi to do justice to that.
Thank you. For almost 15 years, my set had been thinking about what we will do to enhance the income and togetherness in the College of Medicine, in our alma mater. As many ideas as there were members came forth. We never had more than 2 people agree on one. So it was difficult. So we kept on postponing and meeting. We even drew a plan and everything, but it didn't work. One thing is significant about this group of our classmates. They are versatile. Shaloni is also a lawyer. And he's an activist in Yoruba Nation. And I challenged him 2 days ago. This activism, why don't you carry it to Tinubu? Tell him something. And he wrote a letter. I plan to read it, but so long, which I think he's published it also. I will circulate it for people to go and read. Then there was Dr. Matthew Folorenshaw. He was a radiologist. He became a radiographer. He became a photographer. And he traveled all over the world photographing butterflies and so many things, natural things. If I begged him to make a slide so we could be watching the slides of his beautiful, internationally recognized photographs. Then there's Tony Mario, a poet. If he didn't come to medical school, he would have been a Nobel Prize winner in literature. Then we have Funsho Nofooko. He designed this dress that I'm wearing. How you see? And he has designed dresses for Babangida and co. We have Molly, entrepreneur, past excellence. I won't want to go into details because she's here and I don't want to advertise her business. She hasn't paid me. Yeah. So we had all these diverse people, all working in different ways, using their medical knowledge. Eventually, about 2 weeks ago, I was talking to Professor Omigbodun and said, we have put a number of things in our front to consider. And she said, what about this Hall of Fame that we were talking about, that even somebody from our set had mentioned it. So I seized that opportunity. I said I was now going to be an autocratic. So I said, the Provost has given us the task to set up the Hall of Fame. Now, what is the Hall of Fame about? The F is in famous. And everybody here, whether teacher, student, or worker, is famous for having been to the College of Medicine, Ibadan. Can you give yourself a round of applause? So everybody will be in that Hall of Fame. His name, his set, his job will be there. And if he has acquired extra things that will make him even more famous, like some who have gotten prizes. Somebody introduced Professor Oloni, you didn't mention OFR. Yes, she's officer of the Federal Republic. Professor Akonde is Con, sir. OON, officer of the Order of the Niger. OON too. Can you see? And Tony is on his way to becoming Professor Ajayi, yes, is C-O-N, and there's something else too. He has to. I know that. Forgive me if I can't remember the second, but at least I remember one. So these are achievements that should adorn our Hall of Fame, that we show that Ibadan has or had people of worth. And then even the beautiful pictures and photographs of Matthew can be there. And there may be a few things, momentous, that you cherish. I have the unpleasant task of what to do with some of the things that my father treasured and my mother treasured. I'm the only surviving male member of the family. I don't have a house in my hometown, and I don't intend to have one. Now that means if anything happens to me and the children are not around, those things are gone forever. So there is need to have some of these Hall of Fames all over, and especially in the College of Medicine. I was talking to Professor Akikugbe just before he passed on. I didn't know he was around the corner. And I said, sir, we are thinking about this Hall of Fame. And this is the purpose. Some of those books, some of those things that you've cherished so much can be put there so that generations coming after can see them. Said BGK, I'm sorry. I just handed them over to University of Ibadan. He said, but if you have a place, I'm sure University of Ibadan will transfer to you. So that also emboldened us. So the fame is for famous. And the A is for appreciation. A museum, M&E, Museum of Education. I saw my ID card in UI. The young ones will be delighted to see what an ID card looked at that time. And there are certain things that thrilled us in those days. We had some publications. I can't remember. Do you remember those terrible publications that used to circulate? Bug and so on. Yes. The new ones, they want to see it and see. We can put them there. And then finally, you might just decide that you're going to do something for the college, to honor the college. And that will be for appreciation. And so we're going to appreciate everybody who has contributed. So you will be in one of the halls. You will be in the Hall of Fame as an alumnus. You will be in the Hall of Fame as somebody who has shown appreciation, that we are appreciating you, and you have something worthwhile that you think people should continue to see. It will be in the Museum of Education. It has a fantastic pulling. It will pull people to the college. Because even if not my children, well, 3 of my children went to University of Ibadan, but not College of Medicine. One of them came to College of Medicine, and he pulled out, he told Shokumbi, I'm sorry, I don't think I want to be a doctor. My dad wanted me to be one, but he left for law. But those who are there, some of us have children who have been here, and our great-grandchildren may come here, and they'll be delighted and thrilled to see the Hall of Fame. So this group, our group has decided to endow, to put down a sum of 5 million naira towards the actualization of the Hall of Fame. We will not build it. We cannot, that sum of money will not build it. But it will be the focus, because the Hall of Fame will build itself. We will start with a virtual Hall of Fame, and that virtual Hall of Fame will start generating money to build the real Hall of Fame. The logistics will be left to the college and the ICOMA to decide. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Another round of applause for him. Well, while we were hearing some gists online, we were told about being in the hostel and having 3-course meal. And he was doubting if that still existed now. And I can see that in this room, there is no plan for 3-course meal. If we are celebrating that class, there should be 3-course meal. They didn't grow up with 001. But maybe the 500 naira per liter thing has turned us to 001. So I'm sure the caterer is coming up with a dessert or something. A round of applause for the caterer so that we'll put her in the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand over to Dr. Michael as we take a toast to the class.
Thank you. It's now time for us to have the toast to this class celebrating, and that will be taken by no other than the Deputy Registrar and Secretary to the College, Mr. Odedele. A round of applause for him, please. Do we have wine, caterer, for our toast?
Okay. I would like to propose a toast. And, well, I may be the least qualified to handle this assignment, but I'll crave the indulgence of all our fathers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers, teachers, and great-grand-teachers here to handle this assignment. So I'd like us to charge our glasses and get ready. And I'll start this toast by quoting Emeritus Professor Akande. There is this magazine that I read, and he had this quote there. And the quote is that the alumni of an institution can be viewed as the reflection of its past, representation of its present, and a link to its future. And he also said there that the role and objectives of the Alumni Association of a medical school should be to promote the welfare and the progress of that institution. And I believe that aptly captures the essence of this gathering today. You know, and therefore we are just going to toast to, please let's charge our glasses. All members of that class should please take their seats, and others who have come after that class should please stand up. Please. So, we are toasting to sound health. Oh, okay. Yes, our teachers are exempted, yes. They are. All right. Are we ready? So, and we are going to clink our glasses with 5 people. Each clinking of that glass signifies a decade. And significantly, 5 also stands for grace. So we are praying for grace upon their lives, their homes, and all their endeavors. So, all right. Thank you. That's all. So we are toasting to long life. We are toasting to sound health. We are toasting to greater productivity for all our grandparents, our teachers, and for progress of the College of Medicine. So, cheers, everybody. 1, 2. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's clean glasses and look forward to greater celebration, even of this set and many more that are coming after. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll need to listen to our mystery guest this evening. She's listened patiently to all of us, and I'm sure she has something to say. Ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause, welcome to the microphone, Professor Olayinka, as he gives us a response. A round of applause for her.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I'm glad I'm here. I had another appointment, and I told BGK that I would not be able to attend. But he kept on at me, even if it's only for a few minutes. So I said, okay, I'll drop in for a few minutes at 5 o'clock. Then he said, 4:45. So I struggled to be here, and I'm glad that I did not miss this. Especially seeing all these young, old people who claim that I was one of their teachers 50 years ago is frightening. It really makes one feel, well, I'm the oldest person in this room. It makes one feel very old. It also makes one feel very, very proud to have been part of your lives. And I think the important thing about this is that you are able to pass on to the next generation what you have learned, and also to serve the older generation. Some of you here are my doctors, believe it or not, and they treat me as a patient, as a mother, as an elder sister, for free. It is one of the privileges and the joys of being part of your lives. When you are old enough to be my age, I hope you will have the same privileges. I don't say you'll be ill, but you have the same privileges to be looked after. I remember my late husband used to say to the students, listen to me carefully, you've got to learn this. Because when I'm old and ill, you are the people who are going to look after me. And I used to laugh at him, but it does happen. We thank God for your lives. I'm very, very proud of all of you. And to be able to come together 50 years after, I think is really remarkable. Please keep it on for another 50 years. You never know what science can do. God be with you all. It's a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Those are very wise words. A round of applause. And a standing ovation for her. Thank you. You may please be seated. Ordinarily, as the eldest in the room, after our speech, we should all just disperse and go home. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a host who has graciously allowed us to be at this venue and made everything possible for this meeting to hold. Welcome with me the Provost of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, ably represented by the Dean of Faculty of Clinical Services, Professor Ogundiro, as he gives his closing remarks. A round of applause for him.
Distinguished elders, great teachers, and great-grand teachers here present. It's been a wonderful evening, and one that one would not want to trade anything for. It's been a unique opportunity that I personally have been opportuned to be here this evening. And on behalf of the Provost of the College of Medicine, Professor Olayinka Omigbodun, I would like to thank everyone that has graced this occasion, especially our referred great-grand teachers who taught the people that we are celebrating today, for taking the time to honor them, and more importantly, to honor the college for coming to this occasion. We thank you, sirs and ma'ams, and we pray that God will continue to give you good health and peace in your mind, in your body, in your soul, in your spirit, and that God will grant you long life. I would like to thank the set of 1973, who are our teachers, for honoring us this evening in the College of Medicine. I can't remember that we have had such before in this fashion. It probably had taken place, but to my knowledge, not to my knowledge. So it's a unique opportunity that in our time you have honored us with this occasion to felicitate with you and your colleagues who are not here, and more importantly, to thank you for this Hall of Fame that you have endowed this evening, which we believe that is going to be a very unique event in the college. 50 years down the line, some people will look back, and the seed that is sown today, I'm sure would have germinated to become a big oak tree. And many branches will have been built, and many birds of the air will come to make their nests in them. So we thank you on behalf of the college for this endowment, and I believe that characteristic of our provost, I believe that she's going to take it further than what it has been today. So thank you for this gift to the college and to the University of Ibadan. For the rest of us who have witnessed this occasion, we thank you very much, members of the college executive committee, members of academic community, and non-academic staff, and all our friends, the friends of the college, who have come to felicitate with our teachers and elders this evening. It's always good to be the company of elders because we learn a lot from them. I believe that we have all learned a lot from our presence here this evening, and I believe that our lives have been enriched. So let's go out of this place and do likewise. And I want to thank the medical students especially. I'm happy for you that you are seeing generations of teachers and great-grand teachers. And you have also heard about people online, what they took from Ibadan. So it's a legacy that they have left behind for you. And I believe and hope and charge you that you also will go further to also sensitize your colleagues and let them appreciate the fact that Ibadan is still the first and the best in Nigeria. And that you also should not in any way tarnish that name, that legacy that has been given to you. So this baton has been handed over all the years to succeeding generations of graduates. And so in another 2 or 3 years, depending on where you are going to have this baton, MBBS Ibadan. It's a brand that you need to keep and protect, a name that you need to protect. And so as you go out of this place, I want you to feel elated that you are in the company of these people. These are the pioneers of this institution. And so the ball is in your court, and I believe that you are going to, we are going to see you in future, and be happy that, as our referred Dr. BJK Ajayi has said, you will be our own success. I believe you grant us that opportunity to look back and say, yes, we have also succeeded. Thank you for coming. So on this note, thank you everyone for coming. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, I'll pardon you as a pastor that you didn't have thank God it's Friday. It must have been symbolic that they picked the Friday and they picked 4 p.m. Dr. Mario's poem had dance torn shoes somewhere in it. And I know they have put music and dance here. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to call on the chairman of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, ceremonial chair, as she gives, well, some thanks has been given, but as she officially gives the vote of thanks. A round of applause for her.
Thank you very much, MC. I'm very delighted to be here with our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Today is a very special day for us. Dr. BGK called the provost and told her that he wanted this celebration in the college. And the provost called me and said, Chair Ceremonials, we have something urgently to do. The class 1973 has a celebration, and college is hosting. And we started the planning. One of the little fears I have when I'm working with the elderly is that you can never have things right. They will correct several times. So we had a short time. I was wondering, how will we do it? We have to send several times. But I want to tell you, we enjoyed working with you. You did your corrections in very short time, and we got everything done. And this evening we are here. We want to thank this class for honoring the college. I want to say that we are very grateful for all our elders. Mama Oluri, thank you very much, Ma. Our living ancestor, Emeritus Professor Oluwole Akonde. I just spoke with the secretary to the college a few days and said, our professor ought to be here. He said his birthday is on Saturday. But we will try. If you can join us online, we'll be grateful. And you are here, sir, physically. We are very grateful. We enjoyed the poem. We enjoyed all the things that have happened today. Initially, somebody like me, because I feel that sometimes the very elderly, they want things very calm and all that. But we started having things that got us dancing, excited, and all that. Today is a very special day. We are very grateful. Not only have you come to celebrate College of Medicine, you have taught us many things. Each time we meet Dr. BGK, he has things to tell us to make us learn. So we are very grateful. I remember this said some years ago. They came to the college when we had Atunji. We had a program. And so we know that you are always interested in doing something for the college. You had been talking about this Hall of Fame for years, sir. And I also remember an app you talked about several years ago. Thank you, sir, for what you are doing for us in the college. For all our deans and our very senior, sir, Professor Chukumbi, I appreciate you, sir. And all the members of ophthalmology departments who are here, we are grateful that we have made this a memorable day for our elders. I'm very sure they're happy. We have College Legion. We started a program for the elders in the college. And I'm very sure, I remember the representative of the provost said, we need to be doing this to help our elders, to make our elders happy. We hope to have this often. And we believe that you will have us, you will have our support all the time. You can always come in here, and the Lord will give you longer life, healthy life, and strength to continue to be with us. I thank everyone for being here. God bless us all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. So on that note, we thank everybody. And maybe I should speak for the MCs that we were commandeered last night. I got my call, Dr. Michael got us. And I was speaking with Dr. BGK at about 10 p.m. and he said, did they give you my message? I don't want a no for an answer. We'll see tomorrow at 3:30. So I thought I was the only one. When Dr. Michael came, he said, she just saw missed calls from theater, and they said she must be here. We are honored to be doing this. And on that note, we thank you all for coming. God bless you, and we can open the dance floor now. Thank God it's Friday. So we go for birthday celebration tomorrow, sir. Hope you are expecting us at your place, sir. It's Sunday. We'll be there. The weekend starts now. DJ, please.
trendybeats.com.
A group photograph here. A group photograph, as many as wish to join in.
That's what I thought before I took the ride. I burned my bridges. So
We can stand behind them. Yeah. As many as wish to join, please.
But if I had known the life I was searching for was looking me right in the eye, oh. If I had known the life I was searching for was already my own. The grass is greener where you water the ground. That's what I found when I took the ride. I realized the mountain I've been climbing is nothing but sand, yo. I didn't know I already had the answers. No, I didn't know. If I had known the life I was searching for was looking me right in the eye, oh. If I had known the life I was searching for was already my own. Yeah. Oh, baby, oh.
More music on trendybeats.com.
Exclusive from LagosBrothers.com. It's a beautiful night. Let's stay up all night, baby. Tomorrow can wait, oh. It's a beautiful night, yeah. Let's stay up all night, baby. Tomorrow can wait, oh. More, I love your body. Your smile, they make me crazy. When you touch me, my body, they melt you. My body, they melt you. Kiss me, oh baby. Love me, my lady. Oh, Lord, come closer. Come closer. Kajo ma rocky, oh. Kajo ma shiri, oh. Kajo ma gbadun ara wa. Alẹ́ oyin ló máa jẹ́. Let's stay all night, baby. Let me love you, baby. Tomorrow can wait, tomorrow go wait. Alẹ́ oyin ló máa jẹ́. Kiss me, baby, all night, baby. Let me love you, baby. Tomorrow can wait. Ìwọ ni mo fẹ́ o. Cinderella mi o. Olólùfẹ́ mi o. Má gbà mí bí ọtí o. Baby, baby. Ọmọge o. Baby, give it to me anyhow. Exclusive from LagosBrothers.com. I know say you want me. I know say you want me. Regelewa, I get my love back, my darling. Cinderella, eleyele, wo by love. Oh yeah, kajo ma rocky, oh.